Thank you for joining us on Times Now. This is a special broadcast with someone who needs no introduction. Ryan Fernando is a celebrity nutritionist. He's a sensation on YouTube, social media. And he's now with us to talk about the latest report according to which at least 50 medicines have been found to be not of the right standard. Ryan, welcome to Times Now. Thank you for your time. What do you make of this audit report that says that many medicines, including the common ones, which are usually found at our, at every household, paracetamol, vitamins, many others, they are not of the right standard?
So Pranesh, thanks for having me. When you have an audit report like this, one thing I'm happy about is somebody's checking up on the medicines. Let's understand. Medicines are from a perspective where you have disease. India is the largest, youngest population in the world, but we're also becoming the sickest population in the world, which means we're only going to take more and more medicines in our life to come. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I don't prescribe medicines. But when I hear that medicines are being prescribed, it means people are sick. I am a nutritionist, and I want people to eat more nutritious food. But the problem is, people are not eating nutritiously, so they need to take medicines because they have a nutritional deficiency. Like, for example, if you have low iron, you need to take medicine for anemia. Or if you have high sugar, you need to take medicine to balance your sugar. So I think when drugs are being produced for millions and millions of people, there needs to be an aggressive quality control. And I'm glad that this audit report has found this, so it puts the fear in people. And people, you need to eat for good health and not rely on medicines and say that medicine is controlling your disease.
Now, as someone who's championed Desi Nuskhe, Ryan, is there a way we can stop needing these medicines which are now under the scanner?
Absolutely, Pranesh, because you see, in what happens is we have the National Institute of Nutrition and the ICMR come up with the latest research on health. And what they found out is most of India is deficient in magnesium, calcium, iron, vitamin D, and all the vegetarians are somehow coming about with vitamin B12 deficiency. So we can do nutrition hacks by just building awareness. The problem is the country doesn't have suitable nutritional awareness because we eat food out of love and culture. Dadi ma, mummy, humko khana banaya. They have taught us how to eat, but there's no science. So if you come to understand a little bit about a blood test about you, you will say, oh, I'm 20, 30, 40 years of age. I got this nutritional deficiency. Can I meet a nutritionist? Can I meet a doctor and ask, ki bhai sahab, kaun sa khana acha lene ka hai? So these nuskes are basically prescriptions of food wherein you don't need prescriptions of medicine tomorrow.
Now, let me ask you this. Which two foods would you pair together to create that perfect par couple for optimal health?
So, I would definitely go with the Indian gooseberry, also fondly known as amla. My father told me not to announce this because he says you'll make amla more expensive in the country. But amla is a super power hero food, which is power packed with the right antioxidants. And clove, I don't know if you know this, but there is something known as the oxygen radical absorption capacity. This means that that food has superhero powers in it, which means it can create more antioxidant protection inside your body. Clove is number one on the list of the most powerful. Clove is long. So if you can put clove and amla in a glass in the morning, and the clove can be soaked overnight with water and the amla fleshy squeeze in the morning, this is one of the best combinations. And from the fruit department, if you've seen my YouTube channel, my favorite is Amrut because it's like Dranex. It cleans up the blocks in your body. It's got the most powerful antioxidants. So Pranesh, if I was you, I'd go hunting for a guava tree, or better still, ask Dadima to plant some guava trees for you in your hometown.
Okay, Ryan, do you have a guilty pleasure food that most people wouldn't expect from a nutritionist? I know, on your YouTube channel you say, ye to thappad milega, but, do you have a guilty pleasure food preference at all?
कभी कभी मेरे को खुद को थप्पड़ देना ही पड़ेगा इवनिंग में, because like everyone out there, first I'm a human being, then I'm a nutritionist. So my guilty pleasures could be chicky. So God forbid there is a bowl of chicky in my house, I can't stop at one or two. So India will be surprised that even a nutritionist, मतलब हाथ को थप्पड़ मारने का कि भाई बंद करो. So peanut chicky, dry fruit laddu, these are some of the kind of snacks that I go through. And occasionally I do something is I make a protein powder ice cream.
Okay. Protein powder.
So basically
ice
what
cream.
I would do is I would make a kulfi cone, put a lot of soy milk or coconut milk. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead with the recipe, yes.
Yes, so the recipe would be I am allergic to normal milk. So people who are not allergic to milk, you can take milk, add a protein powder with it, or you can just ground some chana powder, put it together, add your favorite banana or chocolate to that, blend it and put into a kulfi cone. This is not having preservatives or sweeteners. It's natural. Do a small kulfi cone, and after you have the dessert at night, go for a walk with your loved one so you burn off that extra calories.
Now, because, Ryan, you mentioned about protein powder. I'm sure you're aware of this debate which is raging around the world about the quality of protein powders and, the trend of blindly just consuming protein powder. What would you say on that?
I believe there's a lot of awareness being created that India's protein deficiency is there. I don't agree with this. It's just basically protein powder companies trying to market to you. So when people come to our nutrition clinics, I say that let me observe your weight, your muscle mass and your fat, and let me understand what you eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Most of India gets about 60 to 80% of their protein requirement. You do not need a protein powder unless you do heavy weight training or do marathon running or a lot of sporting activity exceeding 1 hour per day. The secret is to have a high protein meal after any yoga, walking, Pilates or Zumba class. Natural protein is the best. Cup of lentils, cup of dal, 1 or 2 boiled eggs or an egg white omelette, or your normal non-veg if you're non-vegetarian, which is fish or chicken, is okay to give you your normal amount of protein. I do take a protein powder as a nutritionist because when I finish my workout, I'm headed straight into work again and I don't have time to eat. So I advise India, if you can do it naturally, please do it naturally. But if you're a very busy individual, look at a protein powder that is suited to your body by doing a food allergy intolerance blood test. For example, I'm allergic to milk, so I cannot take whey protein. I'm allergic to green pea, so I don't take green pea protein. So what I do is I take either soy protein or a brown rice protein. Again, these should be organic sources. They shouldn't contain artificial flavors and sweeteners in them.
Right. Ryan, you were saying that when clients come to you, you ask them about their breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then you monitor them. Now that we have the pleasure of speaking to you, why don't you tell our viewers about your routine? What's there for breakfast, lunch and dinner? What do you have?
So, no one size fits all, okay? I'm different from you, Pranesh, and from my 1.4 billion Indian brethren. Very simple. People ask the first question, should I eat 1 meal a day? Should I eat 3 meals a day? Please eat as per how your body responds. Some people can survive on 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner. Some people can survive on 1 meal a day, OMAD, 1 meal a day. And some people like me need all 3 meals a day plus 2 snacks in the day. So that's 5 mini meals in the day. My breakfast is always vegetarian, except on Saturday, Sunday when I have some eggs. My breakfast is usually baked beans, lobia, chana, because this lowers cholesterol. So as a 50-year-old, I have a higher cholesterol level. Research has shown that almonds and beans reduce cholesterol. And then it's packed with broccoli, tomato, carrots, salad leaves. The reason being is the normal traditional Indian breakfast or continental breakfast are cooked with oil. And because I have a higher cholesterol and I want to maintain a certain body weight, to live longer, I tend to have a very clean and raw and natural breakfast. Midday is a cup of black tea around 11 o'clock with my favorite guava or pomegranate. Lunch is traditional Indian lunch. It'll be North Indian, South Indian. There's always a protein. There's always a dal. there's lots of sabzi, 2, 3, 4 sabzis sometimes. And I do cheat sometimes. I'll have a small piece of pickle, but my pickle is never oil pickle. It's always the salt pickle with no oil in it. 4 o'clock before I go to the gym, it's a beetroot, or it will be, I will have coconut water or something like that. I will have a little bit of amino acids in that water or that nimbu pani, and then go for my gym workout. Finish my gym workout. I eat my dinner around 6:30. So that's about in next half an hour. I would eat my dinner, finish it off early. I end my day with either some dry fruit around 9 o'clock when watching TV. And Pranesh, I'll see you on TV and I'll be munching some walnuts or some chamomile tea. And that's a normal day. I definitely have a cheat meal at least 2 meals in the week.
Okay, that's not too much. Thappad nahi milega aapko, sirf 2 cheat meal, that is allowed. What's the most bizarre diet trend, Ryan, you've come across, and how do you respond when clients ask about it?
The most bizarre trend is all these modern day fitness influencers telling people to try different type of protein supplements and health foods without actually doing a blood test, and they go very high protein because they want to build muscle. So a new client who's a CEO of a company joins a gym, and the gym trainer says, "Aapko, you have to take 150 grams of protein a day." These are bizarre trends. One. Second is when people do fasting without water and electrolytes. So these are 2 bizarre trends. In between, about 2 years ago, keto was big post-COVID. I'm not a huge fan of the keto diet for the Indian subcontinent, merely because I've seen most of my clients who have done the keto diet, yes, they have lost weight, but internally their cholesterol and triglycerides have gone up. Okay. And on a long-term basis, when you're not controlling your diet correctly or exercise correctly, you could have internal biochemistry trouble in your body by following a keto diet for too long if it is not medically supervised.
Ryan, the CEO example reminds me of a question. Are you, would you call yourself the Aam Aadmi nutritionist? Because I introduced you as the celeb nutritionist. What would you rather be? The Aam Aadmi nutritionist with Desi Nuskha, or the hard to reach, the nutritionist for the rich and famous?
So Pranesh, it's a very good question, and I was unknown for many years, and I've worked with everyone from Amir Khan to Virat Kohli to now I'm working with Rajkumar Rao, Anupam Kher. But I told my team that, look, India is 1.4 billion people. How can I reach everyone and be the Aam Aadmi nutritionist? And that's why I learned Hindi quickly, and that's why if you listen to me, my Hindi is very tuta-futa and broken, because I wanted to reach the masses through my social media and YouTube channel. And hence, it's like my latest video on diabetes is talking about everything that I would give you in the counseling room. So at the end of the day, I love working with the superstars, but everybody out there in India is my superstar in my book.
But who do you admire? Talking about superstars, Ryan, would you like to take some names, celebrities or sports people, someone who's perhaps lesser known, someone that you admire for their fitness regimen, for their diet discipline?
Oh, so many are there. Shikhar Dhawan, captain, he was the coolest player that I've ever worked with. I still remember an incident where of all the players I worked with, he would stop his vehicle after we came back from the stadium and greet the security guards at the hotel. And I still remember this one incident where he arranged shoes for one of the security guard's son. And that was so humbling to see Shikhar Dhawan do that. Another guy is our current MP and politician from Karnataka, Tejasvi Surya. Very few people know this guy is going to prepare for an Ironman. Now that's inspirational in our political leadership, where everyone talks about politicians in a bad way, but he's in the younger age group, and to see him run a constituency as well as try and prepare for an Ironman, which is very difficult, is really inspirational.
Okay, Ryan, we've seen the smoothie trend really pick up as a fad across groups. Is this a good one? Does one get all the nutrients? What makes for an ultimate smoothie?
I think, Pranesh, smoothies are a nutritional convenience for people's inability to pack a good tiffin box quickly. It takes time to prepare our Indian foods. Like the other day, I set about putting up a biryani. It took about 1 hour, 20 minutes just to get everything done and dusted. Whereas a smoothie can deliver all the nutrition in the form of protein. So you choose your protein. It could be any one of the dairy milks or it could be nut milk. So you got the liquid in there. You can fortify it with either normal curd or soya. And then what you want to do is you want to add sweetness in that. So you can go from natural honey to bananas or our black grapes, manukas, add it into that smoothie. You want fiber in that, so you could go crazy and do vegetable in a fruit smoothie, or you could go non-crazy and add something like oat, which will give you fiber. In fact, I had one client who had a lot of constipation and we actually put the psyllium husk or isabgol in the smoothie. And so we got the necessary bulking so the smoothie wouldn't constipate the client. So smoothie, in my opinion, is new age India's nutritional convenience to packing all the possible protein, carbs, fats, vitamins and minerals in one swig.
So it's an all-in-one drink. Now, Ryan,
I would say so if you construct it properly.
Okay. If you had to create a cheat day for someone, what's one indulgent meal you would recommend that still packed some nutritional benefits?
I think India is going to love me for this one. Pav bhaji, minus the butter.
Okay. I don't know.
Because all the vegetables are there in a pav bhaji if you check it out, right?
Yeah.
You mash up everything.
The taste, Ryan. Don't be so harsh. Once a week.
Yeah, once a week. So that's great. I would definitely do kulfi, and I would also look at a dry fruit laddu, peanut chicky. And the simplest thing on a cheat meal is this. Research has shown that when you enjoy meals with loved ones, the disastrous, unhealthy effects of that meal are actually limited. So as a nutritionist, I'm telling you, it's the number of cheat meals that people do that are wrong. It's not the cheat meal in itself. So if you are 7 days planning your diet, that's 3 meals a day, 21 exposures. 2 exposures can do a cheat meal, enjoy with abandon. But 19 meals in the week, make it boring, make it nutritious. Come to Ryan Fernando, I'll get it done for you.
Okay, I don't know, how many people can afford to come to you, but, that's for some other day. I want to, put you in a spot, Ryan. If you were to design a meal for just one day for the Prime Minister, given the punishing schedule that he has, breakfast, lunch and dinner, is a vegetarian, what would it be?
In fact, that was a dream question asked recently by somebody else, and I would love to work with our Prime Minister Modi. Number one, when he gets up, warm water, lemon, cloves soaked overnight, tablespoon of methi soaked overnight, and freshly crushed amla into that. He'd have to pinch his nose and swig that in, get into his yoga class for 45 minutes with breath work, come for breakfast. His breakfast would be paratha, idli or dosa as a carbohydrate source, but I would flip the carbohydrate at only 30% and add a pulse or legume in that chapati, dosa or idli. So that's a high protein. Definitely moringa, which is drumstick, because it's got one of the most powerful antioxidants in the sambar or the dal. I would also do beans. So lobia, chana, rajma, boiled in his favorite masala and eaten in the morning. If Prime Minister says, no, I want no masala in the morning, then I would do a gluten-free whole wheat grain, multiple grain sandwich for him with a lot of vegetables, and the chutney would be made with mint, tomato, and if he permits, I think Navratri is coming in, so he won't permit garlic, but that's what I would do. 11 o'clock, pomegranate juice with the seeds grated and crushed into the juice, because that cleans up his arteries. I would do pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, 2 tablespoons as he's conducting a cabinet meeting, because that's rich in magnesium polyphenols for his brain. Oh, I forgot. I would ask the Prime Minister to do a cold shower in the morning because it increases BDNF. Lunch would be whatever he wants to do, dal, chawal, roti. I would definitely have purple cabbage because purple cabbage contains anti-aging nutrients in it. And I'd say Prime Minister cucumber to protect his pancreas, and one day beetroot, one day capsicum, one day sweet potato, and I'd kind of change that out in lunch. I would tell him to have green tea or white tea or matcha tea, no milk tea. I know Sirji Modi ji is from an experienced background of chai making, but I would say doodh kam, chini kam, pani zyada, because the green tea has something known as theanine and polyphenols. Theanine calms the brain for more deep recreational, inspirational thinking. So by evening, all our politicians want to think deeper and longer. They work very long hours. Dinner should be early, 6:37, and dinner always has to be soup or salad and a protein along with it. My protein normally would be boiled chana, like in a bale form or a salad form, and I'd end the dinner either with hibiscus tea or chamomile tea, or I would do an Indian pudina, lemongrass, and coconut water tea.
Not bad at all. Let's see, when this
And I
clip
think the Prime Minister sleeps very late, so I
reaches
need
the
to do a
PM's
midnight
team.
snack.
And given the interaction and the engagement on his social media profiles, I wouldn't be surprised if this pops up someday. But Ryan, the Indian professional life has currently being talked about. It is under the microscope with the recent tragedies. There's one. I don't want to get into the details. We know about it already. What can professionals, even in the media, do to take care of in terms of our diet when we only have in time, no out time?
Very valid question, Pranesh. I work with a lot of individuals. So here's my thought process. If all the corporate workers, media people, anybody in any job just does the annual blood checkup with liver, kidney, and the mineral and vitamin profile. Now what happens is, you come to know on a basic awareness. Number two, your weight. If you go to any clinic which has got a professional weighing scale, you can check your visceral fat. These are two reasons that will scare you to start eating healthier. Because research has shown in the workplace, when you are exposed to psychological stress, I don't mean in a negative way. All of us work hard. I'm like 9 to 9, working. There is a mental stress. When I decide to eat, I choose foods of higher sugar and higher fat from an evolutionary point of view to survive. But if I know my blood test is bad and my weight is bad, I will click on a switch in my brain, bhai, please take care, don't eat high sugar, high fat foods. The simplest other hack, please do box breathing. 5 breaths in, 5 breath hold, 5 breath out. So what do I mean by this? I'll say that again. 5 seconds in, 5 second hold, 5 second out. So I will take a deep breath in for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and then exhale out for 5 seconds, and I'll do this 5 times. This resets your stress markers in your life. And people, we are falling more sick nowadays, and whenever we are sick, we still continue to go to work. Please take your sick leave and stay at home, so your health, the body is trying to tell you, boss, there's some jagada happening inside of your body. Take some rest, have more soup, eat more vitamin C, have a little bit more zinc, recover, and then go back to work. So I think a lot of people are facing the problem where they're going to sleep too late also, and that is causing an additional stress and sickness in the body. You need to sleep 8 hours a day. This is mandatory if we want to become the healthiest country in the world.
What's the minimum sleep that you would recommend, Ryan? 8 is the ideal, but what's the minimum?
8 hours.
Okay.
8
Now,
hours.
Ryan, before we let you go, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life.
The sleep is...
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
No, so in terms of sleep, research has shown if you sleep 2 hours lesser than 8 hours, the next day you consume 900 calories more or extra. Your heart rate is beating at a higher rate, which is increasing the stress in your body. So it is a cascade effect of even 2 nights of lesser sleep is creating a lot of stressful calamity inside of your body. Unfortunately, we are trying to negotiate with sleep. I would tell people, you can negotiate with me for your diet, don't negotiate for sleep.
Well said. Now, finally, Ryan, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
As a nutritionist or as a human being?
As a human being.
So, obviously, non-vegetarians, I would do tandoori chicken and a lot of salads, so all the vegetables. And if I was a vegetarian, I would do rajma chawal.
Okay. Ryan, on that note, I thank you for the time that you've spared for us in sharing the details. Thank you for everything. I hope people take note of the suggestions that you've made during this conversation. Thank you, Ryan, for speaking to Times Now.
Thank you for having me, Pranesh. God bless.